there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're at Kinnity Castle Hotel in Ireland. And today what we have for you are the tourist traps that you should expect on your vacation to Ireland. And I'll be honest, there's tourist traps all over the world, and Ireland is no different. But something that's different about the tourist traps in Ireland are that most of them you should still go and see anyway, because they're still super fun. And I think it's important we start off with probably the biggest tourist trap, but the one you definitely should go do, and that is kissing the Blarney Stone. Look, if you're down by Cork, there's a town called Blarney, and there's Blarney Castle you can go see, and that's the one where you go up the crickety stairs and you feel like I'm claustrophobic. You get up with all the other tourists, and then they lie you on your back and you kiss the Blarney Stone to get the gift of gab, right? And I know it's super touristy, and you'll have tourist buses there all day long, but it's worth it. But honestly though, it is a tourist trap, and yes, they will offer you the chance to buy a picture of you kissing the Blarney Stone, and yes, your belly might pop out when you're doing it. Now, the second tourist trap I gotta tell you about, this is one that'll show up on every single Tourist Trap of Ireland video or blog or whatever, and that is the Temple Bar. Look, if you're in Dublin and you're in the Temple Bar district, you're gonna go to Temple Bar, the most famous bar in Ireland, okay? And the thing is, you can have a great pint when you're there, and you can have a great pint anywhere, but when you go there, you have it with your favorite, 300 other tourist friends. Yes, it's super touristy. Yes, it's a bit much, but yes, it is so worth it and something you need to do when you go to Dublin. Now, I don't want to give Dublin the only credit for a tourist trap bar, because there is one in Belfast as well, and that's the Crown Bar in Belfast, which, I'll be honest, when you go there, you're like, how is this a tourist bar? This is a cool bar, because inside, the woodwork inside is gorgeous, and what's cool is if you can get one of the divided, tables where you actually have to, close the door and there's little walls above you and stuff, it's super cool. But yes, it is super touristy, because I know Jocelyn and I went there for my birthday this year, and we were coming out, people were waiting, it's like, are you done with your spot? Yes, and they would run in to have it, because the tourists really want to go there, but it is worth going. I mean, we're 3 for 3 with tourist traps that you really should go to anyway. Now, not leaving Belfast, there is another tourist trap there I think you should know, and that is the Titanic Museum, or Titanic Belfast. Now, I'll be honest, it's probably one of the coolest architectural buildings in all of Ireland or Northern Ireland. But for a tourist, if you're going to think you're going to relive the movie, you're not. It's more showing how it was built and the history of it. And it's a lot of people that go there. And it gets ranked as one of the top sites in Northern Ireland. But I think it's just because a lot of people want to relive the movie from 20 years ago. And it does get kind of a tourist trap vibe just because so many tourists go there. But the thing is, it's worth going to at least once. But just be ready for a lot of people there with you, okay? Now, another smaller tourist trap I think is important to mention. If you're in Northern Ireland, you have to go see Giant's Causeway. Giant's Causeway is not a tourist trap. It is an impressive geological feature that you climb on and enjoy. It's just fantastic. But there is a tourist trappy nature to when you go there, because when you go in, there's actually a visitor center there that you can go into, and you do have to pay quite a bit of money to go into it. And you don't have to. You can actually walk down the Giant's Causeway for free, which is cool. But the tourist trap nature of it is the parking lot for Giant's Causeway that's up there by the visitor center kind of makes you have to go into the visitor center to get a ticket there. So it kind of traps you, and for good parking, you get trapped into buying tickets, whereas you can get cheaper parking down the way at the train station and just walk up, or other places you can park. But yeah, a little bit uncool with that one for a tourist trap. But still, you got to go to Giant's Causeway. It's gorgeous. Now, another similar kind of pay to see a natural beauty kind of tourist trappy thing is actually paying to go see the Cliffs of Moher, especially on a cloudy day. Look, the Cliffs of Moher are one of the most beautiful geological features if you come to Ireland. If you're on the west coast, you go and it's impressive, and you should go. You should pay that. All these so far, you should pay and go see, because it's really, really cool. And this is no different. It's gorgeous, but you pay to go in to look, and you pay more to go up to the tower on the top, and you're like, why am I paying all this extra to see, God's beauty right there? And what you need to realize, there's other places you can go to see beautiful coastlines. I mean, pretty much anywhere in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, you have gorgeous coastlines. You're gonna have cliffs some places, and it's just gorgeous. The paying for seeing the Cliffs of Moher and paying for going to see the Giant's Causeway through the visitor center, those funds are used to help maintain the area. So you are helping by doing that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't feel a little tourist trappy, but it is, the money's going for a good cause, so you don't have to feel bad about it, okay? But yeah, I will say is if you do go to the Cliffs of Moher and it's a cloudy day and a rainy day and you can't see them anyway and you still got to pay, it does kind of get you a bit, but man, even if it's a little you can see through, you gotta go. You have to go when you're there. Now, another place that people feel they have to go when they go to Dublin is the Guinness Storehouse. And I'll be honest with you, you can have great Guinness all over the island. Any pub you go to, they will have it and you will love it. And believe me, it will taste so much better here than it does back home, wherever your home is, because so good. So good. But the thing is, tourists go to the Storehouse and they're expecting to get a brewery tour. It's not a brewery, more or less. It's more of a museum and a marketing tool to get people to love Guinness even more. And the thing is, you're paying money to go and get a free Guinness at the top. Now, the view from the top, dude, that's worth going to. Like I said, all these tour traps are worth going to do. But it is one of those things, like, look, if you want to just save some money and go get a pint down the street and have a good time, you can do that and just see the views from Instagram, okay? But honestly, the Storehouse, it can be fun, but if you're cutting short on time, I don't know if it's one of those things you really have to do, but it's something that people enjoy doing. But you can't get away from the fact that it does feel a little tourist trappy sometimes. Now, there are some kind of tourist traps that I don't really consider true tourist traps because you don't pay anything to see them. But there are some things that you kind of go, okay, you promote this a lot and yes, okay. And one is the Spire in Dublin. I mean, it's just a spike coming up and you feel like as a tourist, you have to go take a picture of it. You don't really have to, but it is one thing that it is kind of a tourist trap. Then you got to go and get your picture and go, okay, I saw it. The Molly Malone statue where you have Molly Malone and her cart there. You feel obligated. You have to take a picture there because you see so many people with pictures there. So that can be a little tourist trappy in that you feel like you have to go. I mean, you still want to go and take a picture with her, but it's just something you want to think about. There's statues all around the country, all around the island. You know, you could look at the Beacon of Hope or the Salmon of Wisdom in Belfast and other places. But there are some of those little kitschy tourist, not necessarily tourist trappy, but you feel like you got to go see it. Statues. If you know any more here in Ireland, do put it in the comments section below so we can go check them out because I'm going to guess they're still worth checking out. Now, another tourist trap, and this is one, if you're a literary fan, you're going to pay no matter what to go see that, and that is to see the Book of Kells in Trinity College in Dublin. Now, what you have to realize is you pay to go in, and the Book of Kells is there, and it is incredible. And they have a great museum to go around and to kind of explain the Book of Kells and show you some of the pages, what they look like. But when you go see the book, it's just, you know, open. Like you don't flip through it every day. You don't get to flip through it. You don't see it that way. So it's just open on that one page. And sometimes you feel kind of like, oh, I thought I'd get more out of it. It is super cool, but it is one of those things you need to realize. All right. Now, my next tourist trap is to do with tours. Now, I'll be honest, there are tons of tours when you come here to Ireland, and they're all worth doing, you know, and it doesn't matter if you're looking at Northern Ireland, talking about the Troubles, or you're doing a tour of the Ring of Kerry, or you're doing a tour around Dublin. They're all cool. But there's one set of tours I think you need to be ready for a little tourist trappiness for it, and that is any of the Game of Thrones kind of tours that are out there. I know Game of Thrones kind of ended badly and people aren't as excited about it as they used to be, but you'll still see a lot of tours, like especially Northern Ireland. They're like, oh, you can go see the Dark Hedges, you can go see the castle, like you can go and see things. But I'll be honest with you, unless you're a diehard fan of Game of Thrones, the tour gets a bit much sometimes, and it might be better to take a geological tour or a different tour than the Game of Thrones one, because this one, I will say, can be a bit over the top tourist trappiness, okay? But if you love Game of Thrones, then they are worth it, okay? And then the last one I want to talk about is when you go to the Ring of Kerry. Now, the Ring of Kerry is this beautiful drive you can go. It's on a peninsula. You can go and drive in the very southwest of Ireland. We're actually going there tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. But I gotta warn you, when you go to the Ring of Kerry, the tourist trap that is the town of Killarney, because Killarney is where all the coaches go, all the buses go, all the tourists go to stay, and then they do their ring road trip around the Ring of Kerry. And for that reason, you have all the tourist trappiness with the restaurants, the hotels, all the tour buses, and you really do feel like you're in a really tourist trap town kind of when you're there. I mean, it's still worth staying at, like we're staying there, but I just want you to be ready that if you're thinking about, well, should I get there the night before and stay in Killarney, then I can go and do the Ring of Kerry? Like, we're actually staying here at Kinnity Castle Hotel, which is about 2.5 hours away, and we're actually going to stay here for the night and then go drive down, because I feel we get more bang for our buck and more Ireland for our euro when we are here, okay? But honestly, you can stay there. And honestly, all of these tourist traps here in Ireland are worth doing. Like, I feel bad making a tourist trap list, but they are tourist traps, but they're tourist traps you should totally do when you come here to Ireland. And of course, the tourist trap of rain is something you're going to get no matter what when you come here in Ireland. It doesn't rain all the time, so don't fall for that trick, but do bring layers because you might get a little chilly and a little damp. So I wish y'all the best. I'll say bye from here in Ireland.